What's up, everybody? Jason here with another Top 5. Welcome to another edition of Jay's Top 5, where I pick 5 things from a specific topic and I go through them one by one. So the last video I did was Top 5 alternate cuts of movies. This time I'm going to choose the top 5 worst alternate cuts of movies. These are cuts that alternate editions of movies that were either for cash grab purposes and just don't work, either for pacing issues or just some extremely poor decision making. These are not in any specific order, but I will, I'm going through them just kind of one at a time. So now that I've gone through the preamble, let's get on with the list, shall we? First up, we have kind of a cheat. Like in my previous video, I chose the Lord of the Rings extended editions. This time I'm choosing the Hobbit extended editions. Now, I will say the extended editions of The Hobbit do have some redeeming qualities. Much like the Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson used the extended editions to add some extra, nuance and additional information and things that, came from the book, or in this case, the appendices that really helped flesh out the world of Middle-earth. The only problem I have with that is The Hobbit was already split one movie too long. So a lot of what had happened in those movies was drawn out and bloated. And really, it felt like that additional stuff could have been put in the movie and other stuff could have been sacrificed. But I understand it might have been for pacing issues. But there were just some things, but on the other hand, there were just some choices, some decisions that were made that were just a bit odd and made it feel much longer. For example, the biggest example, the worst offender is the Battle of the Five Armies. I mean, there's already so much and it's dragged out for so long. And then they threw in more and more and more battle scenes and more fight scenes. It was a bit too much for me. So I mean, I prefer the Hobbit extended editions over the theatrical editions, much like the Lord of the Rings. But I just feel like, as an average moviegoer, an average moviegoer wouldn't really enjoy this much. So that's why I've made this one of my picks. Next up, we have another Peter Jackson film, the King Kong Extended Edition. Now, as you know, you're probably familiar, Peter Jackson likes to release extended editions on DVD. It gives fans of the movie a chance to see more, get more out of your movie. His 2005 version of King Kong was good on its own, but these additional scenes kind of make it run a bit too long. It's all stuff that's a little unnecessary. It just felt a little too. It just made it prolonged too much, and it wasn't as enjoyable as I thought it would be. In this particular case, I would go with the theatrical edition of King Kong all the way. Next up, I'm going to go with the Elektra director's cut. Now, I picked the Daredevil director's cut in the last video for how those scenes improved upon the film and made it a much more complete and grounded movie. But Elektra was already a mess, and these scenes, this director's cut just makes it even more of a mess, especially because of the filter. It's a much darker They use a much darker filter on the film for some reason in the director's cut, which just kind of makes it harder to see certain things. And I mean, I get it adds to the mystique of Elektra in some scenes, but it just really just makes the fight scenes more confusing and hard to follow. It's just, I was not a big fan of the Elektra's director's cut. Much like King Kong, I would go with the theatrical edition if you're going to watch Elektra. Next up, Spider-Man 2.1. You know it's bad when the director of the movie disavows the extended edition. Spider-Man 2.1 was created by the studio in order to cash in on the release of Spider-Man 3, or at least further cash in. Spider-Man 2 is a fantastic movie. I think it's one of the best superhero movies ever made. But the Spider-Man 2.1 extended edition just adds, these boring, lengthy scenes that when you see them, you understand why they were cut from the movie, because they just slow the pacing down. Plus, they extend a few of the fight scenes, and the animation, which I'm assuming at the time, because they were cut, was not completed. But the new animation was definitely done on a shoestring budget and very much looks like it. I mean, those extra added moments in any of those fight scenes stand out more than any of the other scenes in the fight scenes. It looks bad. It really brings the movie down. I love Spider-Man 2, and honestly, I prefer the theatrical version over the 2.1 edition any day. And finally, we have the worst offender on this list, the Fantastic Four Extended Edition. Now, this movie is the 2005 Extended Edition. Just to be clear, I know it would be, there's the 2015 movie, but no, this is the 2005 edition. The extended edition. Now, extended editions are cool because it's a chance to throw in scenes that might not have worked in a theatrical setting. Mainstream audiences may not have appreciated certain scenes as much as fans did, but I think that's a really nice idea. The thing that you should not do in an extended edition is throw literally every single solitary deleted scene into the movie. That is what happened with the Fantastic Four Extended Edition. Every single solitary deleted scene from the movie is incorporated into this almost, I would say, I don't know if it's 2.5, 3, I don't know, because it just felt like 6 hours. This lengthy, overextended, just mess that just drives me up a wall to know that it's even out there, or that the studio even thought that anyone would want to watch it. I mean, it's unbelievable. There are just so many. There are so many good extended editions out there. And the reason is because they use certain footage to kind of, bridge things together, help things along. Heck, there were some movies in my last video that I didn't mention that I might even do in another video. But to just throw every single solitary deleted scene into your movie just to make it an extended edition is insane. It's absolute madness. And I don't think that any other extended edition could have been worse than the Fantastic Four 2005 Extended Edition. And those were my picks for the 5 worst extended versions of movies. Let me know if there were any that I might have missed. I might be doing another video on 5 more. I know I want to do another video on the top 5 best. Another top 5 more best extended versions, but just let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Which one of these did you not like? you know, and why. Or are there any others? But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell to get updates on all my future videos. Follow me on Twitter at callmejsumner. That's J with a J-A-Y. And chat me up with about movies and TV, anything. I always like talking to you guys about that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.